You know that new Midnight Cinematic? It's way more than just a cool preview. Honestly, it's a masterclass in building tension. We're going to break down how every single line of dialogue is crafted to tell this incredible story about faith and what happens when that faith gets pushed right to the edge. So yeah, let's dive in. It kicks off with this line, a pure, simple mantra of absolute faith. That's the paladin, Liadrin, and with just those few words, the whole stage is set. Right away, you know this isn't just going to be about a big battle. No, this is about what you cling to, what you believe in, when it feels like everything is about to crumble.
And just like that, boom, we're thrown right into the core conflict. And look, it's not just about, elves fighting some big shadowy monster. It goes way deeper. It's a clash of philosophies, a real debate about how you face a crisis.
And check this out. These two lines, they happen one right after the other, and they just perfectly frame the whole debate. You've got Liadrin over here, putting all her trust in the light, in divine intervention. And then you have Lorthamar, the pragmatist, basically saying, nope, the time for that is over. It's that classic question, right? Do you pray, or do you pick up a sword and fight? And Lorthamar's line here, that is pure defiance. It's him saying, I'll handle this. He is literally putting the weight of their survival on his own shoulders, on his own skill with a blade. I mean, if you wanted a picture of conviction through action, this is it. Okay, so we've got our hero's conflict set up. Now, let's talk about the villain Zalad-Oth. Because a truly great villain doesn't just show up and start swinging. No, the best ones, they get in your head. And her whole strategy is it's a perfect example of psychological warfare. Think about her first move. She doesn't come out with some big threat about her own power. Instead, she asks a question about their endurance. It's so subtle. She's not saying, I'm going to crush you. She's whispering, you're going to break all by yourselves. And that right there shows you she's a way more clever, way more dangerous kind of threat. And her whole speech, it's this perfectly calculated three-step attack on their morale. Let's break it down. First, she points out their weakness. They're tired, they're weary. Step 2, she offers them an out, right? A tempting but totally dishonorable escape. And then, for the final blow, she just declares that it's all hopeless. It's brilliant, in a twisted way. She's not trying to beat them. She's trying to get them to beat themselves.
And the scary part? It works. All that psychological pressure, we actually see it pushing Liadrin, the one who started this whole thing with a statement of pure faith, right to her breaking point. You can just feel her resolve starting to crack.
So she starts to pray again, but listen to how different it is this time. That formal, confident mantra from the beginning, it's gone. Instead, she starts with this gut-wrenching admission of doubt. She's basically saying she doesn't feel worthy anymore. And this is such a key moment because it shows you how her whole perspective has shifted. The prayer isn't about her and her connection to the light anymore. It's now this totally selfless plea, just for her people. It's like she's saying, I don't care if I'm worthy, just save them.
And then she delivers this last line, and it's just a whisper. In that moment, the powerful paladin is just gone. All that's left is this incredibly vulnerable person who's at the absolute end of her rope. This is that moment of surrender, where faith stops being a shield and becomes this one last desperate flicker of hope.
But right there, in that moment of what feels like total despair, that's when the cinematic hits us with its amazing climax. Just when you think all hope is lost, something incredible happens. Faith isn't just restored, it's completely transformed. So the villain lays it all out. Her big mission statement. And it is a promise of total, absolute annihilation. Nothing left. This is the lowest point of the story, right? The darkness just feels overwhelming. You're sitting there thinking, there's no way they can win. And then you get this simple, defiant line from Ilaria Windrunner. And the contrast is just electric. You have this huge cosmic threat, this promise of universal doom, and the response is this grounded, almost insulting comeback. It completely shatters the villain's whole vibe. What a perfect narrative punch. And this is the payoff. Liadrin says Lorthamar's line from the beginning, but she makes one tiny, critical change. I becomes we. And that's not just a clever callback, you guys. That is a complete transformation of the entire theme. So what's the big takeaway here? What does this all mean? Well, the cinematic resolves its big conflict, that whole prayer versus blade thing, not by picking a winner, but by smashing them together.
Liadrin's faith? It's not passive anymore, it becomes this active, powerful force. And Lorthamar's fighting? It's not just grim duty now, it's fueled by hope. That personal I struggle becomes a communal we resolve. The real strength, it turns out, wasn't in prayer or the blade. It was in bringing them together.
And really, that's the heart of this whole cinematic. It sets up this big question. Is it faith or is it fighting that saves the day? But the answer it gives us is, what if it's both? What if true strength only really happens when your faith gives your actions purpose, and your actions give your faith some real-world power? Some to think about, right?